Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Jim Grisanzio from Oracle, and we're back here to talk a little bit about Jfokus 2021. And I'm very happy to be here with Dmitry Aleksandrov from Bulgaria. Dmitry, welcome. Welcome to the program.
Hello, hello. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here with you.
It's really great to meet here. I actually met you, I guess, like a year or so ago in San Francisco at some Java event somewhere, and it's probably
It was the
Code
Code 1.
actually.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's probably some Java. It was the
Code
event,
1,
I guess.
the Java event, I would say, yes.
Well, there's so many around the world. Who knows? So you're going to be talking at Jfokus 2021, so Matthias asked me to have some conversations with some of the speakers, and you came to mind, so that's cool. So that's why we're here.
Thank you.
And so you're going to be talking. I want to talk about your session, a little bit about the community, stuff like that. And so you're going to be talking about microservices, right? And Helidon.
Yes.
And,
yes.
So you're gonna fly like a rocket. So I want to fly like a rocket. So tell me how I can fly like a rocket. What are you talking about here?
Okay. So I basically think the Helidon is the right choice to fly like a rocket with Helidon. What I say, so I'm now working on this project, so I'm quite honored to be part of this team right now, and I believe this set of libraries for writing microservices is one of the best choices for microservices right now. Why? Actually, this is why I'm going to tell my presentation why it is a good choice. But speaking here, I just want to say that it's very small. It's really modern, I would say, because it's built on the latest Java. So that means that we have no compromises there. We are built on Java 11 plus versions. That means that we're utilizing the best and the newest technologies there. And by the way, you know what Helidon actually comes from? The name Helidon? What does that mean?
It's a bird.
Absolutely. So in
but
Greek,
I don't know what kind of a bird, but I know it's a bird.
Okay, you saw it from the logo, I guess. Yes, so it is a swallow. So it's a Greek word for swallow. And every time you see like this small bird flying, like they fly into this flux, it personally reminds me of microservices. And actually, this bird itself is so small, so graceful, and so fast that I believe the name fully represents the idea of Helidon. And speaking why, actually, so it's a set of libraries for writing. It's not even a framework, I would say, because it doesn't actually, build you frames around your usage. So it's a set of libraries, so you can choose any module that you need to write your like piece of. I would say it's like microservices. You don't need everything to run a microservice. You can take modules for what you need, and that's why it's very small and very tiny, and that's why it's so cloud native, I would even say, and prepared for it. So that's why I'm quite happy to tell you about this in Jfokus 2021.
Cool. Now, I've spoken to a couple of developers working on Helidon in the last couple of years, so it's not new, but it's not old either. So I'm just wondering, it's been a few years now. How's the project going in terms of, because it's an open source project, you're taking contributions, It's on GitHub, and I would imagine the community is growing. So how's it going in terms of a project?
Okay, so it's really one of the greatest part of Helidon that it's an open source. It's Apache 2.0 license. So even before me joining Oracle, I was like playing with it a lot. I saw the code. I saw actually the beauty of the architecture that is there. So yes, the project, although it was started like 2015, highly inspired by Spring Boot itself, I'll be quite honest here. But now the last 2 years, it was like it gained all of the foundation you need. All the core was done. And that's why now it is a solid product, I would say, which is really production ready. And we have our customers, they are running Helidon. And that's why, as I told you, we were utilizing the latest technologies there. We're still utilizing the latest technology, and we are it's one of the focuses, like, okay, Jfokus focuses of our technology of usage is actually the newest technology. So yes, the version 2.0 that we have right now actually is going to be 2.3, so quite soon. We are I'll be quite honest, on the edge. That means that we're using really the latest stuff. We're even diving a little bit forward with some APIs to utilize the Project Loom virtual threads and all of that stuff. And yes, since it's a product, it's in production, it is open source, the community, especially the last year, I would say, is growing constantly with a not even constantly, but with some acceleration, I would call it. And I believe, as we are doing now more integrations, by the way, so that means we're not only just like a micro framework, which just gives you the core and we don't care about other parts. No, we're now doing integrations, and that's this way we're expanding our community. So the last year it's been like a tremendous work done in that direction.
Cool. Excellent. Sounds really good. Happy to hear that. And just talk about Jfokus for a second. So have you been to this conference previously?
No, and that's
okay.
why I'm really happy I was selected for this year conference. Unfortunately virtual, but I've been to Stockholm. I've been to Stockholm only in summertime, actually. But I believe, as I've said for the pictures, it's a beautiful place. And as far as I know, the conference itself is really, really wonderful.
Yeah.
Next year, hopefully, we'll be there.
Yeah, I was there last year for the first time. So that would be February of 2020. And it was my first time there. I thought it was a fantastic event. I really did. Not because, I mean, it's a cool place. It's a cool space, Stockholm and everything. But it was very well managed. It's about 1,800 or so people, and it was a classy event. They had fantastic food. All the things around the event were handled really well. All the facilities were beautiful. It had a real culture around it. It really did. I mean, people had been going for years and years, and they could tell me about the evolution of it, how it started really small and grew. I thought it was really, really cool, and I was really looking forward to this year.
Okay.
But for some reason, everybody just decided to do a distributed model this year, and so there you have it.
There's a reason for that, unfortunately.
Right.
There's a reason for that. Let us keep it safe for now, but definitely worth visiting like next year for me if I get selected.
Yeah, cool. So let's I was just talking about like the culture of Jfokus that leads into a conversation of the larger Java community and the larger open source community. Talk a little bit about your experiences with open source and community development and conferences that you go to, because I know you've been around a lot, and each place you go is very different people, different cultures, different technologies, different states around the world. So what's it like in terms of working in the open source community or in the Java community?
Well, I believe this is exactly the model that should be followed, not only in software development, but in everywhere. I think that's, and I'm quite happy as a software developer to experience that, because this openness to each other, openness to technologies, openness to people, to each other, the ability, the willing to share. It's really hard to see in different branches. I'll be quite honest, because even my relatives, they say, "Oh my God, you're telling about technology you just not exactly invented, but there's a know-how in it, and you just say it to people for free. Why and how?" And I said, this is exactly the open innovation that actually drives all this worldwide innovation, I believe, in a wonderful way. So, well, just sharing thoughts, like giving this for free, and receiving the same knowledge on different conferences from other people. This is exactly the explanation of word synergy, I believe, in development and in the world of not only development as a software development, as a mind development, as an industry development, and everything around growing. So Yes, my first experience actually with the giving talks and participation in this conferences was back in, I believe, 10 years ago, like 2011, I guess, when I first visited the local conference. Then I said, "Oh my God, I have something to share. I want to share it, like because I was then playing a lot of with Eclipse, and there was not documented feature, and I managed somehow to get a plugin there, and I say, I want to explain it to people." And at our university, they said, "Wonderful, here's a room for you. Just talk." And yes, together with my friends, like we are a gang of six right now. We call us gang of six because there's 6 people organizing. We say, okay, we have to give life to Java user group, because it was like a little bit like more like a chat or forum with nothing happening in it. And with these talks, like in this university room, we started organizing meetups and share knowledge. And then this wonderful thing happened that when I gave my talk, several people from the audience says, "Okay, I have also something to share. When is my date? Like, when should I do that?" And we see that there is a great demand in sharing knowledge and talking out in community process as itself. And yes, we started our Java user group. Then we have a good friend of mine, Ivan. He has been to other conferences worldwide, and he said, "Why aren't we supposed to do a conference, like a world-class conference there?" And it was February. It was actually January. February, we said to some of the companies here, like, "Oh, you see, we want to make a conference," and they just say, "Here you are, a lot of money. Do it." And in May,
so they understood the value immediately.
Yes, exactly. So they found out that sharing knowledge, open innovation in its well, in the synergy that it brings, is really useful to everybody. Everybody is a winner here. And they say, "Here you are, a bunch of money, make a conference." And as we gathered first time in February, the very same May, we made our first conference with 500,000 people in it.
Wow.
It was called J Prime, and then every year we make it like then 600 and 2 days, then 800, and then more than 1,000 people for.
Wow.
Because I'm now in Sofia. Well, it's 1.5 million city, so 1,000 people is like one of the, well, possibly maximum for developers of Java here. And we gained this velocity, and you see everybody actually won. And that's why we decided that conference is wonderful. We make our free conferences like J Professionals, like every 3 months to, well, it's a very interesting format. So we invite one well-established speaker who actually share his knowledge how to speak, and give also the other people who speak for the first time the opportunity to speak with him, to actually learn from him how to speak, how to deliver the knowledge in a better way. And yes, being involved in this stuff is really like driving a lot of new knowledge, a lot of new friends. And as you said, I saw how it's done around the world. So it's not only organizing conference, also speaking at conference. Well, see the way other conferences are doing their stuff, and like applying their knowledge here and sharing our knowledge to them as well. Right. Really gave this synergy for first knowledge sharing, then friendships. A lot of friendship has been established, real human friendship, I would say. Right. And as you see in my eyes, I'm now like very emotional about it. This is exactly the emotion I'm sharing every time I go to community event and conference.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. One of the things you said, a couple of things you said that are really strike home with me is this is almost a natural process. Yes, somebody has to drive it. Somebody has to come up with the idea. Somebody has to make the phone calls and say, "Hey, we want to do a conference." But in general, once that sort of leadership is initiated, it distributes itself and it becomes natural that other people are contributing. So
Absolutely.
leadership really is distributed in these communities, but it has to, someone's got to start it, right? The other thing you said that was very interesting is that this is not necessarily the default state in other fields, or other industries or whatever. And I find that remarkable because when I first got involved, because actually I joined Sun in 2000. And to me, that was my first experience working with software developers. And I said, wow, this is a whole culture here. These people think totally differently. And then I got involved in open source right away because, at that time, Sun was doing a lot of open source. And so I just, there's a certain culture within software, within technology, and then within all these, larger, industries. And to me, it just brings so much opportunity, that you don't necessarily have, because what's really cool about this is the people already in the community are always looking out for people who are going to be contributing.
Absolutely.
It's that contribution, when you show up and nobody knows you and you write something cool, or you write a document or a piece of code or whatever, you get it in front of people. It's a genuine contribution to the community. People are already by default looking out for that stuff. And that's just not true everywhere you go. And so I spotted that right away within this, culture. I'm not saying everything is perfect and great, but there is this, culture that you can tap into that can be very advantageous to you as you're getting involved with communities. So, I'm glad you shared that because, I know you've been involved in these communities for a long time. So I wanted to get your feedback on it. And
Absolutely.
So are you?
And once again, don't hesitate. I mean, if you have something to share, just don't stop yourself. Just write. People are very friendly in this way. So don't be shy. I mean, I know shy is a natural thing, so you really have to make a step over. But we were one of the sparks for the big fire, I would say. And yes, it doesn't stop you from being that spark, and that means that every time you have something to share, there will be very friendly people who are eager to help. Well, it's not like blaming for something wrong. Everybody has done it. First time is not always the best time. That's why there is this community to help you and make the required step for you to establish as a speaker as well, and just not like a professional speaker, but just a person who's willing to share. And there's always somebody to help you with that.
Right.
And this brings a lot of synergy. Once again, synergy is a key word here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, when people get together, just, talking, just, sitting around a laptop and hacking on a little bit of code and stuff, in this environment, new things are created, things that didn't, necessarily, actually exist before. So, really cool. All right. So Jfokus is your first experience there. It'll be great when you go next year or the year after, or whenever we can do that. Really interesting thoughts about community globally and in your area. I'm sure this year you've been participating in a lot of virtual conferences as well, right?
Yeah. This year changed totally, behavior and everything. It's a different new experience, but it's something to new about. It's something new, and it has its good parts, many of them.
Yeah, I actually, as much as I don't like this, I do actually, there are things that I do like about it because I can instantaneously reach out to new people, and because I know where they are, they're at home, right? More or less. And so I've made a lot of new friends here as well in this situation, but I am looking forward to the future where there's a mix, because there's something about, just this high resolution, thick pipe, everybody's at the same space, nice and close, and, just a lot happens in those, spaces. So
it's not only audio visual contact. A lot of different other senses are used for this contact. And that's why, yes, I really hope that our scientists will invent the cure for this disease, and we will back to what we call normal.
Yeah. So
this previous normal.
Exactly. I definitely agree with you on that. So you're at Oracle now. You've been at Oracle for for about 3 or 4 months now.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
3 months.
Good to have you there. Yeah, it's cool. Sounds good. Well, good luck at the conference. Hope the sessions go well. Hope your session goes well. I'm sure it will.
Yep.
And I will catch up with you either virtually or physically sometime soon.
Thank you so much, and I hope this session is useful, and I'm really open to any questions. And my team, I just want to say the team that is developing Helidon is just wonderful, and they always respond very nice, and just don't be shy. Once again, one of the keywords I want to say in this small interview is just don't be shy, ask questions, they will be answered with pleasure. So
yeah, and I actually can second that because I've spoken to a few of them, and I don't know anything about anything, but they're always very open with me, so that's cool. That's cool. All right, Dmitry, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye now.